It's a case that is monumental to Missouri. Natasha M. Scruggs, founder and CEO, attorney of Scruggs Law, is here to fill us in on her Dred Scott Appreciation Month. Welcome back. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
So Dred Scott, I remember learning about him in our history books, but he was a very big deal. He was kind of an iconic person back in the day. He was a slave. Tell us a little bit more about the Dred Scott case. Who was he, and who was Harriet Scott too?
Well, Dred Scott, he was, if in today's terms, he would be considered an African American because he was born and raised in America. At that time, he was an enslaved African American, and his wife was also enslaved. And the person who owned him at that time, he was a military officer, and so he traveled a lot. And so Dred Scott and his wife were often going to northern territories. And so when they would go to northern territories and then they would come back to St. Louis where they were based, at that point,
that's look at them. Nice.
Yeah. At that point, and that's on my wall at my law firm.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
So they were traveling a lot at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so at that time, when they came back, according to the laws of the land, they were supposed to be free. And that was because of the Missouri Compromise. The Missouri Compromise happened in 1820, and it changed Missouri from a territory to an actual state. And so at that point, anybody who went past the border was considered free. And it was supposed to be limiting any further slave territories. So when they went to the Supreme Court actually invalidated the Missouri Compromise and said that it was unconstitutional. And then they also said that African Americans, whether enslaved or free, could never be citizens.
Wow. I mean, but this was a big case because he did sue for his freedom.
Yes.
And his wife's freedom.
Yes, because initially what he sued for is actually interesting as well, because he sued, number one, to say that he was a free man, and number two, to say that he was falsely imprisoned. And it's also interesting because I'm from St. Louis and I actually visited this courthouse.
Yes.
It's interesting that when they were in St. Louis, the St. Louisans were a little more in tune to what was going on, and they were giving them tips on their rights and what they could do. So they were really influenced by the people in St. Louis. And at that point, they ended up getting an attorney and suing. And then when they went to court, which you can see at the court, they actually, neither one of them could read or write, so they had to write an X under their petition.
That's right, to sign their name.
Yes.
Well, why is it so meaningful and inspiring for you? Why is he an inspiring figure to you?
Being from Missouri, being from St. Louis, it always was near and dear to my heart. I was always taught about it. But when I went to the court and actually walked the same steps that he and his wife walked up as enslaved people and walked down free, it just hit me so hard. And then I feel like as a Black attorney, today's world, that I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for them fighting for something that everybody in the whole world said that they shouldn't have.
That's amazing, and it is really important to remember that, especially this month, but always.
Exactly.
And one way that you are kind of honoring this too is you have a very special offer for your legal services. Tell us about that.
Yes, since it's Black History Month and my law firm is celebrating Dred Scott, we offering $100 off for legal services all month as long as you pay the full flat fee. So that's what we're doing for our clients this month.
Awesome. Great deal. As you heard, $100 off legal services. So to take advantage of that offer, visit Scruggs Law at their location in Riverside. You can also go online, visit them at scruggsfirm.com, or you can give them a call at their number there on the screen. And we're also going to have a link on kclive.tv later on today. Thank you so much, Natasha, for coming
Thank you.